Next, we take a look at the record fine Penn State is facing from the Department of Education and what it means for the university.
And with just a few days before the election, we preview who to look out for on the Pennsylvania ballot. The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Olivia Hogan.
And I'm Mike Gilbert. Penn State says it's reviewing findings from the U.S. Department of Education into how the university handled Jerry Sandusky's sexual misconduct incidents. The department is fining Penn State more than $2 million, saying the university ignored many of its duties under the Clery Act. Penn State President Eric Barron issued a statement saying that while it can't change the past, the university has been recognized and strengthened for strengthening programs and compliance since 2011.
Police say 13 people will face criminal charges related to the vandalism spree in State College after the Ohio State football game. Thousands jammed the downtown area and caused $31,000 in damage after Penn State's big win. Police say 11 of those facing charges are current Penn State students and 2 are former students. The charges include felony riot and disorderly conduct. Once charged, the 11 students will also be referred to Penn State's Office of Student Conduct for other disciplinary action.
This time next week, we should finally know who will be the next president. But beyond the presidential race, the ballot is filled with competitive Pennsylvania races in the U.S. House and Senate, as well as Attorney General, Treasurer, and more. Maria Dettinger takes a closer look at Tuesday's ballot.
At the top of the ballot is the president, with former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and businessman Donald Trump. 2 third-party candidates round out the race. 1 U.S. Senate seat is up for grabs in Pennsylvania. Incumbent Republican Pat Toomey is up against Democrat Katie McGinty in a tight race. Edward Clifford is also on the ticket. Toomey is trying for his second term. In the District 5 U.S. congressional race, Democrat Kareth Strano Taylor is challenging incumbent Republican Glenn Thompson. Born in Bellefonte, Thompson is known for voting with the Republicans most of the time. Strano Taylor is a lawyer, and she's facing Thompson for the second straight election. In the District 9 U.S. House race, Republican Bill Schuster is running against Art Halverson. In April, Schuster beat Halverson by 1 point, and Halverson, who was a Tea Party candidate, won as a write-in Democrat. On the state legislative level, Republican Stephanie Borowitz challenges incumbent Mike Hanna in the 76th district. Hanna has been in office for 25 years. Borowitz is a former 4th-grade teacher. Democratic incumbent Scott Conklin is running unopposed in the 77th district. In the 81st district, Republican incumbent Rich Irvin defends his position against Rick Rogers. Irvin is known for being pro-life, protecting the Second Amendment, and his support of less government. Rogers wants to protect Social Security and prevent veterans from becoming homeless. Democrat Melody Fleck is challenging Republican incumbent Kerry Benninghoff for the House seat representing District 171. Benninghoff attended Penn State for 2 years and has close ties to both Mount Nittany Medical Center and the Bellefonte Medical Arts Center. Fleck has lived in Ferguson Township the last 20 years. 4 candidates are running for state treasurer: Joe Torsella, Otto Voigt, James Babb, and Kristen Combs. Current state senator John Rafferty is running for attorney general against Josh Shapiro, a member of the Pennsylvania House. Incumbent Eugene Pasquale defends his position as auditor general against John Brown, Jay Sweeney, and Roy Monet.
Pennsylvania voters also have a proposed amendment on the ballot that would change the mandatory retirement age for judges from 70 to 75.
With just 4 more days until Election Day, the presidential candidates are campaigning hard to earn those final undecided votes. Donald Trump is set to hold a rally tonight in Hershey at the Giants Center. The event starts at 7 and comes after events held by Melania Trump and Mike Pence in other parts of the state. Hillary Clinton is in Pittsburgh right now holding a Get Out the Vote rally where rocker John Bon Jovi is set to perform. And tomorrow, Clinton supporter Katy Perry performs in a Get Out the Vote performance as well.
Penn State's Bull Moose Party hosted an election event on campus this week with a visual prop. It began with members setting up a wall around the American flag on the Old Main lawn to show their support for Donald Trump and for increased U.S. border regulations. The black painted wall sparked political discourse from both parties, and the Students for Hillary group eventually made its way to the event to show their support for Clinton.
That demonstration was peaceful, but some this election season haven't been around the nation. Some political rallies and protests have turned violent this year, like this one at a Trump rally earlier this year. Some people in our area think Americans have lost sight of what truly matters.
I am tired of the election. It is going back and forth. Everybody hates each other. We should all be one country and one nation, undivided, and this has done nothing but divide us.
In an effort to unite one another, a Penn State student group hopes more young voters will get to the polls on Tuesday. The State of State organization hosted a panel this week made up of a political science professor, the Daily Collegian editor-in-chief, and 2 members of the Speech and Debate Society. The panelists discussed the political process and the importance of staying involved. The discussion also included the media's role in politics and localizing national issues for Penn State students. Join us on election night for live coverage and results. Here's where you can see us. We'll have live updates on WPSU TV across Central PA during PBS election coverage. We'll also have live updates at the top and bottom of every hour on Penn State's ComMedia TV on campus. We'll have constant updates on Twitter at Center County REP. We'll be doing Facebook Live updates on our Center County Report page, and we'll be on Instagram at Center County Report.
The Penn State community is remembering a student who died unexpectedly from a pulmonary embolism. Friends and family hosted a candlelit vigil this week at Old Main for 18-year-old Stephanie Inman. She was a freshman from Lebanon, PA, majoring in biology. She was involved in homecoming, Thon, and campus clubs. Her family is asking that memorial donations be made to Thon or a memorial scholarship in her honor.
Olivia, it's almost flu season. Find out how you can stay healthy this year and it won't cost you a thing.
That's coming up, plus the weekend weather forecast. And Penn State alum has turned a hobby into a profession. We'll take a look inside something new that's opened in Bellefonte.
So, can I see you again?
I'm free on Black Forest Hamden.
There's a Subway 350 sub of the day to help you remember life's important days.
We got married in June.
On Tuna Day.
Every day a different 350 6-inch sub. Every day of the week. Every sub contains no artificial flavors. At just $3.50, it's a great sub at a great price.
Her name is Terry.
She was born on Sweet
Onion Chicken Teriyaki Day.
The 350 sub of the day. Every day of the week at Subway.
Starting in the 2016-2017 school year, Penn State Residential Dining will institute a new raise and professional development program. Every semester, student employees will have 2 opportunities to earn a raise. The first is a 50-cent increase, and the second is a 25-cent increase. These raises will occur on October 1st and December 1st in the fall, and February 1st and April 1st in the spring. The only requirement is that the student is employed at the dining commons prior to the raise date. All levels of employees are all eligible for this new program.
Mount Nittany Medical Center just hosted another town hall meeting on the opioid and heroin crisis in our area. Reporter Rasha Guerrier was there.
Heroin and opioid crisis is affecting all areas in people's lives.
Center County residents gathered together to discuss an ongoing crisis.
It's happening more and more, and there are situations with addicted youth.
According to the county police, there were 15 opioid and heroin overdoses in 2014 and 15. 16 have already occurred this year, and that number plans to hit a total of 21 overdoses. This 4th meeting had representatives from the criminal justice system, the Drug Enforcement Agency, PA State Police, FBI, and more were in attendance.
You can't just arrest your way out of this problem. There's also a need for treatment.
However, the help and sponsorship of a new coalition strives to solve this crucial epidemic.
The HOPE Coalition stands for Heroin Opiate Prevention Education, and it's a coalition that started in about May of 2015.
We all came together because we have this common goal, doing something about the opioid problem in the county.
Early on when they started the coalition, they realized they had a problem.
Everyone was not aware of the problem. Only certain people were.
So they had a goal of getting the word out to the public.
And we thought the best way to do that would be to have a series of town hall meetings.
Topics from these meetings range from signs of addiction to treatment, recovery, prevention resources, and the most recent town hall meeting on the criminal justice system. In addition to meetings, they've also created drop boxes,
which are located in 6 locations in the county at police departments and in some of the county buildings.
There have been a lot of medications that have been dropped off. They're getting them off the street.
Hope strives to get more Center County residents involved in treatment as soon as possible. Reporting in State College, I'm Rasha Guerrier for the Center County Report.
Hope plans on continuing outreach programs to further the conversation on the opioid crisis. For more resources, you can check out their Facebook page.
November usually brings colder weather, and that means the start of flu season in Pennsylvania. Here's how you can protect yourself. Free flu shot clinics are going on all month in State College, Bellefonte, and other locations. The next one is Wednesday in Penns Valley. The clinic will continue through November 21st. Each clinic is in a different location, and you have to call to register. For more information, you can call the Center County Office of Aging.
Before the Flood, a National Geographic documentary about climate change is getting lots of attention nationwide, and Penn State's College of Earth and Mineral Sciences hosted a screening of the film at University Park this week. The audience also had the chance to see a panel discussion with Penn State climate change experts, including Professor Michael Mann, who's in the film with actor Leonardo DiCaprio.
Basically, we're talking about sort of the challenge of preventing catastrophic climate change, and my role in the film ends up being to, in a sense, convince Leo that he shouldn't be as pessimistic.
Mann has a new book out called The Madhouse Effect, which takes a satirical approach against climate change denial.
Well, a good Friday to everybody. It is Hunter Williams in the studio this afternoon with the latest on your forecast. A gorgeous view right now out over Beaver Stadium, and I'll go ahead and tell you plenty more sunshine over the next couple of days, so a very gorgeous forecast shaping up. As it stands right now, though, it's a little bit on the chilly side. 52 right now in State College, 53 in Tyrone, still in the 40s. It's 47 in Johnstown, and this will be the chilliest afternoon for the next several days, so we do have a gradual warming trend as we move through the rest of the forecast. But temperatures elsewhere across the state, it's 44 right now in Bradford, 48 in Franklin, 52 is the current temperature in Pittsburgh. The satellite and radar, and you can see just about wall-to-wall sunshine all across the state of Pennsylvania. A little bit in the way of some cloud cover off to our west, but we will stay with the sunshine of the forecast through the next several days here in Pennsylvania. I wanted to jump into Futurecast, though. We'll walk through the next 24 hours. So by 5 o'clock, around 51 here in State College, so we do make it into the lower 50s. But notice how quickly we start to cool things down as we head towards 10 o'clock, around 40 degrees here in State College. Some locations, especially north of town, could be in the upper 30s. So if you have evening plans, definitely bring the light jacket. It will be a little bit on the chilly side. Down in the mid 30s overnight tonight, and by the time we get towards 8 o'clock tomorrow, around the 40-degree mark. But the good news as we head towards tomorrow afternoon, we quickly warm back up. Some great weather for tailgaters out there by 3 o'clock. Temperatures in the middle 50s, around 53 here in State College. But by game time, again, we do chill down a little bit. We'll be in the upper 40s to middle 40s right around kickoff. So just one of those games where you'll want to bring the light jacket out there with some chilly temperatures. Your forecast for the rest of this afternoon will top out around 54, plenty of sunshine and north wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we head into this evening, we'll drop down into the middle 30s, around 35 degrees, and mostly clear sky. Northwest wind still at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And your forecast for the game, kickoff is at 7:30. Again, it'll be a little bit chilly, 48 for the kickoff temperature, mainly clear. We will not have to worry about any rain in the forecast, so no rain jacket needed, just the light winter jacket. Here's your 7-day forecast from the Penn State Campus Weather Service. And guys, this is one of those forecasts where it's just kind of a creative writing exercise. How many different ways can I say mostly sunny? But nonetheless, the forecast looks pretty good.
The t-shirt and short streak continue for me, and it looks like we'll have good weather for the game, so that's good news as well.
Yeah, it sounds like perfect weather for game day.
Speaking of which, Maddie outside of Nittanyville right now with a sports update. Let's send it out to her.
Thanks, guys. I'm here live at Beaver Stadium, and we have a big football weekend ahead of us. The Nittany Lions will take on Iowa tomorrow night in a Big Ten conference matchup. And the Little Lions will look to stay undefeated on the season as they face Central Dauphin tonight. We'll preview both games next in sports. I'm Maddie Brightman here live at Beaver Stadium. The 20th ranked football team in the country, a potential spot in the college football playoff. This Penn State football team is almost unrecognizable. After moving up 4 spots in the AP poll and being ranked number 12 in the college football playoff ranking, there's a lot of buzz happening in Happy Valley. But before you go booking any flights to Pasadena or Indianapolis, James Franklin wants to remind you what's happening here this weekend.
Our focus is on Iowa, 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 Iowa. Internally, that's all we talk about. We don't talk about those other things.
After delivering a pounding last weekend in West Lafayette, Penn State earned its 6th win of the season, with every running back finding the end zone and the defense holding the Boilermakers to 47 rushing yards. Many believe the Lions are finally figuring out the pieces of the puzzle.
It's just been kind of the process and sticking to our plan. And believing in one another and building trust and relationships and identity, which I think is really what we've created in year 3 is an identity.
Even with an identity, they have a big test this weekend under the lights. The Hawkeyes should feel well rested after a bye week and will be ready to run all over the blue and white, literally. Iowa averages nearly 170 rushing yards per game and ranks 2nd in the Big Ten in red zone offense at 93%. The Hawkeyes are 15-3 in their past 18 road games and will look to find the same success on Saturday. But there's one thing Penn State feels gives them an advantage. Outside a stadium of 107,000 people, it's hard to grasp that feeling of togetherness and community that all Penn Staters feel on game day. But it's that same feeling of coming together and being a family that this program believes is taking them to new heights.
Now that, everyone's bought in and we completely trust each other and, we're all working hard and we kind of hold a standard for each other, it's obviously showing on Saturdays and let's hope it keeps up and we keep winning football games.
Those are 3 things that you have to have. Trust, love, and belief in any program, in any successful program, in any successful team or organization or corporation or whatever it may be to be successful. And we have that right now.
The Lions are 13-12 all-time against Iowa, but the road team always seems to have the upper hand. After 25 meetings between both teams, the road team has won 15 times. Kickoff is set for 7:30, and you can hear all the action on Penn State Com Radio. Now to high school football. The Red Raiders of Bellefonte will be thinking playoffs tonight in their postseason matchup against Clearfield. Meanwhile, St. Joe's hits the road to take on the Line Mountain Eagles in one of their final games of the season. More playoff action continues as the Bedford Bison and Tyrone Golden Eagles kick off at 7 o'clock. And finally, Huntington takes a trip to Forest Hills tomorrow night under the lights. And in just a few hours, the State High Little Lions will kick off at Memorial Field. They'll take on Central Dauphin in their season finale. A win would put them at 10-0 on the season and would be the school's 11th undefeated season. The last time they ran the table, 2008, when the Lions went 10-0 under then head coach Al Wolosky. This time, Coach Matt Lintell says despite the possibility of an undefeated season, he and his team are focused on the task at hand.
The kids have kept their heads on, and obviously we've had some success. We're pleased with where we're at, but we're not content with where we are. We know we got a job to do. I'm just so proud of this group of guys and what they've done. And for far more than just being 9-0, but for how they conduct themselves and for how they represent our school.
On to hockey now. Penn State started a 2-game series last night at Pagula Ice Arena against Niagara. The 14th-ranked Nittany Lions looked to pounce on their winless opponent early, and they did just that. Ricky DeRosa found the back of the net in the first 3 minutes of the game. Dylan Richards, Dennis Smirnov, and Andrew Sturts all followed with goals on their way to a 5-1 victory that had the Roar Zone rocking. The two teams face off once again tonight at 7, and you can listen live on Penn State Com Radio. Penn State wrestling returns to the mat next Friday. Reporter Alex Blankman gives you a look at what to expect from the reigning national champions.
Fresh off a national championship season in which they did not lose a match, the Lions are ready to repeat. Led by 8th-year head coach Cale Sanderson, Penn State brings back junior individual national champion Zane Rutherford, who looks to continue his success going into his 3rd season. The Nittany Lions trail only Oklahoma State in the preseason coaches poll. It's no secret that Penn State wrestling has been the dominant force in the wrestling world in recent history.
This Nittany Lion team has won 4 out of the last 5 national championships and looks to continue their dominance of the entire NCAA headed into this season.
The Nittany Lions open the season at Army 1 week from today at 8 o'clock. Fans can get their first glimpse of the team in person when they return home on November 13th against Stanford. I'm Alex Blankman for the Center County Report.
Penn State women's volleyball has their toughest match of the season tonight as they take on the #1 ranked team in the country, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Nebraska is 20-1 on the season and have won their last 8 games after falling to Ohio State in early October. Penn State is ranked 11th, but a win tonight would solidify their spot as a top 10 team. The two square off tonight at 7, and the Lions host Iowa tomorrow afternoon at 4. That's it for sports. I'm Maddie Brightman here live at Beaver Stadium. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Maddie. Coming up next, an early interest in stamp collecting led a Penn State grad to a lengthy and successful career. Stay tuned to find out how.
Stamp collecting is a hobby that's been around for years. From Franklin D. Roosevelt to John Lennon, many iconic people throughout history have taken up this hobby. And one Bellefonte man has taken his stamp collecting to a new level.
Probably have over 100,000 stamps.
Ken Martin has been collecting stamps since 5th grade, and it was much more than just a hobby.
I think some of it may have been I moved frequently when I was young, and so this stamp collection was something I always had. You know, while you're trying to make new friends and moving into a new school or whatever, that was something I could always depend upon.
Years later, as a Penn State student, he founded the PSU Stamp Club. He took his passion for stamp collecting to the next level and became a member of the American Philatelic Society in 1980. He's been the executive director of APS since 2010 and just opened the APS library in Bellefonte to the public last week.
There are over 6,500 journals in reference to stamp collecting on this floor, a hobby for people of all ages all around the world.
When I started collecting, I was a teenager. Then I started again probably in about 1970. As you get older and you can spend a little more money on it and a little more time.
He says his hobby allows him to learn more about history and relax all at once. And Martin says it's a hobby he'll have forever.
At 85, are you still going to be able to do it? As long as you have your eyesight, you can probably still collect stamps.
The American Philatelic Center is located at 100 Match Factory Place in Bellefonte and is open to the public for no charge.
Great job on that piece, by the way.
Thank
I would
you.
go as far as to say that that is the definition of the American dream.
All right.
Follow your hobbies, follow your dreams. That's it for the Center County Report. For more, visit our website, centercountyreport.com.
You can also follow us for breaking news anytime on Twitter at Center County REP and on our Facebook page. Join us for our next newscast on Tuesday, Election Day. Have a great weekend.